Hi everybody, and welcome to the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Today we're going to be going to the brink of the lower falls at Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. For those of you who've seen several of these videos, you'll know that there's quite a few vantage points that you can see at Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. And that over there, by the way, is the brink of the upper falls. There's the Yellowstone River coming through the falls, coming from the falls, excuse me. And in our virtual Yellowstone tour series, you can see various vantage points and overlooks of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. We have a virtual Yellowstone tour on Artist Point. There's another one on the brink of the upper falls, which are over there. We have the North Rim Drive. So you have quite a few options that you can see. If you go to virtualyellowstonetours.com, that's virtualyellowstonetours.com, you can check out all of our virtual Yellowstone tours. And the advantage of going to that site is that we do have the tours categorized. So you can, for example, see all the videos about waterfalls, you can see all the videos about grizzly bears, you can see all the videos of geysers erupting, and they will link you straight back to the YouTube video. I think it was the Minotari Native Americans who originated the name Yellowstone. In their language, I believe they gave it the name Rock Yellow, which was translated by the early French fur trappers who were in this area, and that in turn was translated into English as Yellowstone. And you see the dogs on the trail. You're not allowed dogs on trails in Yellowstone. But amongst others, Lewis and Clark translated it into Yellowstone in English. You can see this is a great trail going down. Coming up though, there's going to be a bit of huffing and puffing and panting. Yellowstone River there. For my money, the best view, look at this person over here with their hands on her hips. I imagine that's what we're all going to be like coming back up. What people don't realize is that you're at altitude here, and climbing up from a location like this is not dissimilar to climbing up from the bottom of the Grand Canyon, though of course you don't go anywhere near as far, because you start off at the lower elevation, of course, and as you get more and more tired, you get higher up, and there's not as much pressure driving the oxygen into your lungs, so you start puffing and panting, and it's really a good idea to take water with you. It does help to prevent altitude sickness, not to mention dehydration as well. We can start to hear that water more loudly. I was talking about Artist Point, and that for my money is the best view of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. You really get some wonderful sweeping views looking back at the falls. And not too far from there was where Ansel Adams took some of his legendary pictures. Adams, of course, is better known for his photographs of Grand Teton National Park. But he also spent quite a bit of time here at Yellowstone National Park. The Yellowstone River originates on a peak called Yount Peak, which is to the south of Yellowstone, and it flows through Yellowstone and eventually meets up with the Missouri River. And at the point where the two meet up, the Yellowstone River is actually larger than the Missouri River. And there's a nice view of the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. But the Missouri River still kept the name. So the Yellowstone disappears and the Missouri continues. You believe this cell phone signal all the way down here at the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone? Generally speaking, you don't have a signal, any data or cell phone signal in the national parks, and that's done deliberately. Although in Yellowstone, you do have a signal depending on who your carrier is at the main camp areas. We're not too far from Canyon Village, so I guess there's a possibility that there may be a signal that's somehow finding its way down from Canyon Village to here. On our tours, which we run, which incidentally you can see at YellowstoneTours.net, we generally don't bring people to the brink of the lower falls unless it's a private tour and they ask to come here. We do go to the brink of the upper falls, and the reason is this walk. It's steep on the way back from the upper falls trail, but it's not that long. Here is much more of a vertical gain or a vertical descent. But on a private tour, we're happy to bring you down here. And we're just about at the viewpoint. I don't find this view of the waterfalls as spectacular as the brink of the upper falls. There just seems to be so much more water coming over, and I know the amount of water has to be the same, but it just feels so much more impressive as the water thunders over. But there's no question that looking down on a waterfall is always a really beautiful sight. Starting the climb on the way back. If you decide you don't need to see what you've already seen already, thank you so much for joining me on another one of our virtual Yellowstone tours. If you enjoy this virtual Yellowstone tour series, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Otherwise, stay with me for the climb back up to the top. It looks to me like a lookout point. What was that on the tree? Anyway, so that over there looks like a lookout point. One of the points you can see on the North Rim Drive. What's really cool about that point is that as you're climbing up, if you look down to your left, you'll see some hoodoo type formations. Some like columns of rocks. And every year there's an osprey that has a nest there and gives birth to baby ospreys. not too far from the top now, where that orange fencing is.
I've already found it. And let's get some footage of the upper falls. Oh, that is a pretty view.
It is, isn't it?
It is gorgeous.
That's the upper falls. And over there is the Northram Trail, which you can access just on the other side of the Chittenden Bridge. The Chittenden Bridge is the bridge that goes over the Yellowstone River, and it leads you to Uncle Tom's Point and to Artis Point. It's named after Hiram Chittenden, who was here with some of the survey groups in the 1880s and 1890s. The road at the top of Mount Washburn, Chittenden Road, is also named for him. Chittenden was also responsible for putting in the Roosevelt Arch. He felt that the area around the north entrance was too barren and it needed something to pick it up. And that's where the Roosevelt Arch came from. That's a much better view of the upper falls, isn't it? Time for another video of it. And we've made it to the top. So once again, thank you for joining me on another one of our virtual Yellowstone tours. This one to the brink of the lower falls. If you enjoy our virtual Yellowstone tour series, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. You can also see all of our virtual Yellowstone tours at virtualyellowstonetours.com. Thank you and see you in Yellowstone.